plays Quidditch? Who here wants to play Quidditch? That's why you're here. That's why they pay us the big bucks. They don't pay us anything. You should change that.
Alright, so a little bit of housekeeping just before we start. There's no flash photography. Washrooms are in that back corner over there. And when it's time to leave, you need to go out that door over there, as opposed to the one that you came into. Quidditch.
And us.
There you go.
Yeah. Up is on is on. Awesome. I think this is working. I'm so excited that there are this many people here today. This is fantastic. My name is Jillian, and I'm just going to do a brief introduction about Harry Potter Fandom. And then I'm going to pass it off to some people from the Quidditch team and some people from PotterWatch, which is the local HPA chapter, well, local to Edmonton.
Be local to you.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
Yeah, there you go. So as everyone knows, the big Potter fandom really started with those midnight book launches, with the midnight movie starting, all of that good stuff. And some people, especially big corporations like Lego, seem to think that the Potter fandom is dead. I think this shows that is definitely not true. So I'm just going to outline a few ways that Harry Potter is still living on and give you guys a couple of different types of options of ways to be involved and to remain involved. Person. Wizard Rock, I should have used the judge. Oh, whatever. Yeah, see, we have fans. Is one of the first ways that the Harry Potter fandom really started to create its own identity and our own things that we can do. There were Wizard Rock concerts in libraries. They've now gone on to arenas. They tend to have performances at the Quidditch World Cup and lots of conventions. We've got Harry and the Potters, Draco and the Malfoys, the Parselmouse, Whomping Willow, Alex Carpenter, Lauren Fairweather. There's all sorts of different types of music, and that should give everyone something to listen to, something that they like. If you want to find these things, I'd check on Bandcamp first, iTunes second, and, well, actually no, probably YouTube second, and then iTunes third. A lot of this stuff still isn't mainstream enough for iTunes, but Bandcamp is fantastic. The other thing that's changed since this started was we now have vlogging as a big deal. So if you find the Vlog Brothers DFTBA Records, it's a great place to go for area. Okay. Another big thing is cons. Whatever you think con stands for, convention, conference, congruence, whatever it is, there are tons to attend. There are, of course, big cons like these, but there are also Harry Potter specific cons. The Harry Potter Educational Foundation really started that off about 2002. They've ended their cons, but there's now LeakyCon, QuidCon, VidCon, MistyCon, and Camp 9 3/4 that are all happening this year. And there are more that will be happening over the coming years. The place to find this is on Facebook. And even if you know about these, like you know about LeakyCon and you know you can't go, join their Facebook group anyway, because that's usually where you'll find the next big con that you can attend. At PotterCons in particular, you're going to end up with presentations, performances, literary sessions, autograph and famous people sessions, photo sessions. You can usually try out Quidditch. There's almost always a craft fair, and there's always, always, always a ball. So it's something that you can get dressed up for. You can wear jeans and a t-shirt, everything in between, and lots of fun there too. Next thing you have, and this is especially prevalent at cons, is the cosplay. So you can do this at any event. You can do it at these types of events or the Quidditch World Cup. There's tons of people. They've had Dementor attacks at the Quidditch World Cup. So you can do whatever you want with this too, and try to be inspired. You can do the movie interpretations, book interpretations. You can make your own characters. The place to go for more information in that is actually, I'd probably go to steampunk and anime, because they have a lot more experience doing cosplay than the Potter fandom does in general, and they are experts for a reason. So go to their sessions and take what you can from them and apply them to making your own costume, your own character. Next. We have two great meccas, essentially, to attend, if you can. We've got the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and yes, it's fantastic. And Leavesden Studio. There's an expansion of Wizarding World of Harry Potter coming up in 2014, and another one's been announced for California, so that gives you a couple of options. For Leavesden, you do generally have to book your tickets in advance, but look into it because they do change out their exhibits and they always do different features. Right now I think they're featuring the animals. At Christmas time they change everything, like they decorate the Great Hall for Christmas, which just sounds incredible. I've seen pictures but I haven't been yet. There's also the Harry Potter, the exhibition that's been traveling around. I think it's still in New York again, and I don't know where it's going after that, but I did it on an 8-hour layover on a flight through Toronto, and I looked at the exhibit through an earthquake. I didn't even notice the earthquake, so it's really good. It's fantastic. There's also Harry Potter tour groups that you can connect with in England. I think it's HP Fan Tours is the big one, but there's other ones around. So if you want to do something big but you can't do it on your own, then that's an option. Ultimately, what we have here is Harry Potter's a community, and Harry Potter is really a book series and a movie series about love. Anyone can apply these principles to your daily life, and it's usually through the choices that you're making and your own charitable activities. So that's why we've got PotterWatch here to talk a little bit more about that later. But there's lots of different options, and so you can think about it as something that you can always do. So, did Harry Potter die with the end credits in Deathly Hallows Part 2?
No.
No.
Yeah. Enthusiasm, guys.
No. Yeah. So some areas are actually growing in popularity, and so we're going to get two sets of people up here to talk about two of those areas. First, we'll talk about Quidditch, and then we're going to talk about the HPA, and hopefully this will inspire you guys. And then we've got Quidditch demos after this, but I'm going to hand it over because I probably already took more than 5 minutes. So.
Thanks, Jill. Thank you to Jill for putting this whole thing together as well. Let's give her another big round of applause.
Sorry.
All right, hello everybody. So we're from the University of Calgary's Quidditch team. I'm Lauren Mooney.
And I'm Rachel Malone.
Is it on? So just a little bit about us, how we started and whatnot. The actual club formed about 3 years ago, but the year in between that and last year, everything kind of switched, like the exec team and everything, nothing really happened. But this year, we started in full force, thanks to some new execs and whatnot. So we actually just started our Quidditch team in October. We practice every Sunday. Yeah, we were going to show you a little clip from our university's news station, but we are actually going to skip that for now and move on.
They can find it on your Facebook page, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
find it on the Facebook page.
All of our links will be on the end slides.
Yeah. So about Quidditch, it's played at over 300 schools in 13 countries, mostly in the United States. It was started at Middlebury College in the Midwest. They won the first 5 World Cups. This past year, actually there was a huge upset. Middlebury didn't even make it to the World Cup. Instead, University of Texas won the World Cup, which was really exciting. So it was just 2 weeks ago in Kissimmee, Florida. There were, I don't even know how many teams, but there were 2 brackets. So there was an A bracket, which you had to qualify for, and then a B bracket, which was like drawn randomly. Both teams that won the brackets were from Texas, actually. Texas. It probably has to do with the fact that they have nice weather year-round. But we're going to show you a quick clip of the some highlights from Kissimmee, Florida. So we're going to go to that.
Next up.
To give you an extremely basic summary, it's a 7-on-7 game that is basically like a cross between rugby, dodgeball, basketball, and tag. We have 80 teams here in Kissimmee, and they have come here from 22 U.S. states and 4 nations. I'm loving it in Kissimmee. The crowds are great out here. The facility is beautiful. Our players have been having a great time. I've been talking to our teams, and without exception, they've been saying that they've been having a fantastic tournament out here at Austin Tyndall Park. We're so grateful to be here.
I love it. I love the excitement. I love the compassion. I love the sportsmanship. I really love the competitive nature of Quidditch. I never understood it until I got to see it on the field.
It's beautiful. The climate's awesome. It's a lot like Texas, and I was afraid it's going to be a little bit cold or a little bit rainy, and it's not at all.
We're doing pretty well. We're lining up right where we thought we would be. We won our first game 120 to 50. We're hoping to take it all the way to the end and come home with a trophy.
This is excellent. I couldn't believe this had come true. We've been dreaming about this all year. A lot of these guys, they founded our Quidditch organization at UT. They've been dreaming about this for 4 years, and they made this come true in their senior year. It's amazing.
I mean, these guys, I can't even call them friends. They're all my family. These are my best friends. Like, the most spectacular people at UT, the most spectacular people in the world. And I'm so happy to be a part of this, and I just can't stop crying. I'm so happy.
All the feels.
All the feels. So the team at the beginning was University of Ottawa. They were the only Canadian team to be a part of the A bracket of the World Cup. They did really well in pool play, but they sadly got knocked out in the first round of bracket play.
And we really like you, Ottawa. They basically helped us out a lot when we first started.
Yeah, there's a great community. Like the IQA even has like a pen pal system where it's like existing teams can like connect with forming teams so that they can help get them started. But moving more on to how it's played, so it's very similar to the Harry Potter books. They mentioned in the video that there's 7 players on each team. You have the traditional 3 chasers, 2 beaters, 1 keeper, and 1 seeker. The game differs from in the books in that there are 3 bludgers instead of 2. That way the bludgers are dodgeballs that the beaters throw at other players. The reason there's 3 is so that no one team can control all of them, because otherwise it's a very one-sided game. Hard to get the beat effects. Those are the bludgers. The quaffle is a volleyball that's slightly deflated to make it easier to catch, because all of your catching and throwing is being done with 1 hand. Also, all of your tackling is being done with 1 hand, because Quidditch is a full contact sport.
But not for the purposes
of our demos. The other big difference is obviously we can't have a little golden ball flying about, so there is a human snitch. I'm currently dressed as the human snitch. I kind of play every position, but on the snitch is a tennis ball and a sock that is sort of hanging from the snitch runner's pants like a flag in flag football. And so the goal is for the seekers to come and rip it out, and once they get it, the game is over. And it's worth 30 points instead of 150 in the books, just because it's kind of hard to score that many points in Quidditch when you're not flying around. It's still an extremely fast-paced game, though, which is a lot of fun.
Okay, so kind of where we are right now, just starting our team and whatnot, we're practicing. We are looking at becoming an active living club, so that will mean that we are more of a sports club rather than just a general students union club like we are now. Hopefully, joining the IQA is in our future. Money, though.
Also, teams nearby.
Yeah, and there's... Yeah. Well, U of A kind of has a team.
Yeah.
So that's good. And then hopefully we'll be hosting a tournament if there's more teams around where we are. So.
Or if we can attract teams from further away.
Yeah.
So if you want to get involved, we'll be having practices all summer long. They're going to be open to the public for the most part. We're going to tentatively schedule them Sundays at 2:30 p.m. We're going to try and do them at parks throughout the city, so that way we'll be practicing all over Calgary. Watch our Facebook and Twitter pages for more updates about which our practices are going to be. Hopefully we'll have a full master schedule of where all the practices will be. If you want to start your own team, we're more than happy to help you. So community teams, SATE teams, ACAD teams, Mount Royal teams, Red Deer community teams, anywhere. Feel free to contact us, and we will do our darndest to make sure you get a team started.
More clips that we aren't really going to show, but CBC interviewed us, and that was interesting. So.
Yeah, so
It was interesting.
yeah, so that's all our contact information. You can email us at ufchpquidditch@gmail.com. On Twitter, we're ufchpquidditch. Her or I are either the ones tweeting, mainly me. Our Facebook page, and then General Quidditch Inquiries, the International Quidditch Association, has an amazing website with tons of clips and tons of they have the full rule book posted, they have maps of teams, anything you want to know about Quidditch, that's a great place to start.
Yes, and definitely contact us if you have any questions. We're more than willing to help, so.
Yeah, and with that, I just remind you again, 2:30, go in front of the Coke stage, you'll see us playing.
Yeah.
And you can play too.
And we will take questions from everyone at the end of this too, so.
Yes.
Keep that in mind. Thank you. Howdy guys, what's up? So I know you were promised Quidditch. Hopefully we're still cool enough for you. Right?
So we have papers so we don't go overtime because we like to talk.
Yeah, we're talking French. Alright, so hi everyone, my name is Yara.
I'm Marysia.
We are here on behalf of Edmonton PotterWatch, which is the local Edmonton chapter of the Harry Potter Alliance.
Yeah. So basically we just want to tell you a little bit about what we're all about and how you can get involved in what is basically a real-life Dumbledore's army using love to make the world a better place, just like Harry did. So we thought to start, instead of telling you, we'd just show you. So let's roll the clip.
Crying now into the tremor of hope that's growing deep inside, and to mouth the secret whispers of dream.
Harry Potter in our world, he would do a lot more than just talk about Harry Potter. Not that much. He would fight injustice in our world the way we fought injustice in his. In fact, in the books, for those who have read them, he starts a student activist group called Dumbledore's Army, which wakes the media and the government to the fact that Voldemort has returned. And I thought, what if you could get all the Harry Potter fans in the world to be a Dumbledore's Army for our world, embody these books that we love.
What are you doing? What the heck?
Soon we have chapters and volunteers springing up across the world. To date, we've donated about 90,000 books across the world. We fought genocide, global warming, homophobia, media consolidation, child slavery.
Mountains end under the footsteps of a world that broke the darkest night. You with the full heart and opening eyes.
And we can find fans of blockbuster books, TV shows, and movies, and bring them together and say, through our love of story, we can shape and change and uplift the human story at this critical time in the human narrative. In short, creating a Comic-Con for social justice.
I feel a little bit probably like Harry did when Hagrid came storming in going, "You're a wizard, Harry." Harry Potter Alliance has just taken off in ways that I honestly can't describe. And the only word that comes to mind is magical. So just thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for participating. And I'm so happy and blessed that all of this is working out the way it is.
We've seen a lot of damage to our world through story. Hitler used story, Bin Laden used story. Companies that are destroying our planet use story in 30-second acts. It is time for the good guys to use story. Fantasy is not an escape from the soul of our world, but an invitation to go deeper into it.
So we hope that wasn't too too emotional for all of you. I picked this song on purpose. I wanted to make you cry today. So, Harry Potter Alliance is essentially harnessing a group of amazing philanthropists and activists, readers, writers, musicians, actors, actresses, stories, lovers of stories, and taking that power and using it to change the world.
So yes, this handsome young teacher from Boston, Andrew Slack, in 2009 got in touch with Harry and the Potters, which we've talked about, and they helped him start up this group, and individual chapters just started springing up. Now we have, I think, 148 chapters around the world in 10 different countries, and we work with events like National Novel Writing Month, conferences like LeakyCon, best-selling author John Green, actress Ivana Lynch, to really get this thing moving and make a difference.
It's also been endorsed by the Queen. Not that Queen, but I'm sure she'd like it as well. There we go. J.K. Rowling, according to Time magazine, practically levitates off the ground when speaking of the Harry Potter Alliance. So if she likes it, you know it's a good thing. Though it's not a Dumbledore's army in name only, they've also actually accomplished things. As you saw in the video clip, they sent 5 planes down to Haiti full of medical supplies for relief after their earthquakes. That was just in like the first few years of their creation. And yeah, the first plane that landed was called Harry Potter. So that got a tear to my eye. Their most recent campaign is called Not in Harry's Name. They're trying to make all the chocolate that is sold under the Warner Bros. Trademark logo of Harry Potter free trade, or fair trade. Right now, there's some questionable sources, and it's probably affiliated with child slavery. So they're trying to distance Warner Bros. From that. Warner Bros. Should thank them.
Harry would not do that.
Harry wouldn't do that.
So you might be wondering what the point is of a Harry Potter Alliance. Like, what can HPA do that other charities don't?
I'd like you guys to take a moment to think about when you first opened a Harry Potter book. Again, more tears. Just keep it coming. Just keep it coming. Just think about that moment when you realized you were entering a world full of magical impossibilities. Literally anything can happen in Harry's world. So imagine that power harnessed against something like child slavery, or genocide, or homophobia. What do you think Harry's magic could cure in this world, in our world?
So the great thing is that it makes social causes accessible to us. J.K. Rowling wrote a book that was really a commentary on our world, and we're turning that back onto the world again. So when we see the Death Eaters' racism and oppression and we're disgusted by it, well, why don't we do something about that in our own world? The other great thing is that although the HPA is this great international organization, it's still very personal. You can really work locally to support things you want and just work under their umbrella to do great things, because a great thing is a great thing and love is love. So you get to really work with things that matter to you.
We're also hippies in our spare time. Alright, so we're going to tell you a little bit about how Edmonton PotterWatch got started. That's us right there doing our AVPM style snake faces. Harry Potter musical, check it out, check it out. Alright, so I am the chapter organizer of Edmonton PotterWatch. Basically, this is the true story of how it got started. You heard it here first. So I was on the Edmonton Nerdfighter Facebook group. Any Nerdfighters out there? That's what I'm talking about. So I was procrastinating, as a true university student does, in the months of December. And there were some people on the Edmonton Nerdfighter Facebook group talking about starting a local Edmonton HPA chapter. So in a further effort to not do my homework, I was like, I'll send an email, I can do it. So I sent an email to HPA just inquiring further about how we would get started. The response was something akin to Hermione slamming down her version of light reading. We know it's not light. So they provided me with interest meeting resources, ways to get members involved, upcoming promotions, upcoming calendar events. Here are 500 other chapters, well not 500, 150, that will come and help you be the best you can be. So upon seeing this, all of this information before me, I couldn't help but feel A, extremely overwhelmed, and B, a little bit like I did when I opened my first Harry Potter book. And what was initially a passing interest and a way to not study for finals, was suddenly a burning desire to make this actually come to life.
and it really did come to life. If you can believe it, at our very first meeting, we had a grand total of 10 people. 5 of us were Yara's friends, and we were forced to be there. The other 4 were bribed with donuts. In March, we had 30 people, 5 of us still forced to be there, but all of us inspired to imagine better. So in this past month of April, we actually took part in the Harry Potter Alliance's annual book drive called Accio Books. And the most any chapter has ever gotten is 2,500 books, and their goal this year was 10,000. We have 4,000 books being donated to local Edmonton charities.
We took over one of our members' basements.
That is a panorama shot because a regular camera shot can't
not fit
take
4,000 books.
500 of those books were, you saw a little clip of a Harry Potter screening of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So Leduc Cinemas helped us out, got us in there for free. We screened the movie, made the magic come alive once again for people who have seen it, for the first time for people who hadn't seen it in theaters before.
I forgot how heartbreaking that movie is. Like, Fred and George come on the screen, it's just tears.
And they're also sassy. Like, so yeah, it was really beautiful. 500 books just from that one day. Also, we've gotten some media attention. Harry Potter Alliance comes to Edmonton. Yara was interviewed by the Edmonton Metro.
So legit.
Also some student newspapers around town, so yeah.
Yeah, so as you can see, we are having a lot of fun at Edmonton PotterWatch. Donuts at every meeting, usually. Sometimes
I love you with donuts.
I love you, random stranger in the back. But unfortunately, as much as we would love for all of you to come out and join us at Edmonton PotterWatch, there are a couple issues with that. A, we haven't found a room to fit 30 people, much less 150. B, how many of you are actually from Edmonton? Yes! Come out and join us. How many of you aren't? The louder cheer. So, for the Edmonton people, come and join us, Edmonton PotterWatch at gmail.com, where we have www.facebook.com/Edmonton PotterWatch. Come to that. Those of you who aren't in Edmonton, we would love to see more chapters cropping up around the world. As you can see, Western Canada is severely underrepresented. Actually, all of Canada is severely underrepresented. All of the world, other than United States, is severely underrepresented. So there are, to get your own chapter started, there are 3 things that you need. Number 1, you need a functional email address. Welcome to the 21st century. So basically just go to www.thehpalliance.org, click on chapters, and then start a chapter. Can you all see that? Oh, go back. Spoilers! Start a chapter. You will be hooked up with an HPA member who will email you all the information and resources that your inner Hermione could possibly desire.
Number 2, you need a golden trio, just as Harry had Ron and Hermione. Or like Yara, you can be like Voldemort and have your own group of Death Eaters that you force to follow. Either way, you need a support group. Any good leader knows how to delegate and get everybody involved. So for example, for our Accio Books campaign, we had 2 lovely young ladies.
And their Dalek.
Kelsey and Karen, and they volunteered to run the campaign, and then they made sure everybody got involved as much as they wanted to and as much as they were willing to during exam month. So, yes, you need your little...
Yeah, and basically what they did was, because of that, yeah, we had like a tree of cascade of delegation, so they made sure no one had to use a time turner to get shit done. I just really wanted to use that joke, I'm sorry. Okay, number 3. Hokey as it is, you need to imagine better. That's all it takes. I mean, as far as chapters go, when we first started off in January, we did not expect to get more books than the history of Accio Books has ever gotten, but we did. And we didn't expect to be able to put the first movie back in theaters, but we did. And we didn't expect to be here in front of the wonderfully dressed and wonderfully enthusiastic Harry Potter fans at the Edmonton Calgary Expo. Y'all are gonna leave for that, I'm so sorry. We did not expect to be here, but we are, and the reason we did is because A, we had ridiculously high expectations, and we just decided we would keep on trying until people listened to us. And B, because what else could a bunch of Harry Potter fans in their 20s want to do other than pretend that the world still exists? And it does. It's real for us. It's real for us. Yes, so hook us up. Okay, here. So if you guys are interested in starting your own chapters, here are all the resources to the main HP Alliance. You can also please contact us. We have a whole host of resources for you. We would love to help you get started. And we have a bunch of these.
They've been handed out.
They've been handed out, but if you guys want some, we will get them out to you. And you can contact us and we will help you get started. And Harry Potter will once again take over the world, which is all we ever want. Right? Awesome. Thank you guys so much for listening. Yeah, cheers. Any questions about any of these things? We will come and find you and give you a microphone.
No, we can actually take questions now. Is this on? No, it's not. Okay, we can actually take questions from the audience, but you're going to have to probably shout really loud because these things have cords.
We can also come and find you and shout it out for you. Yeah.
And you want to know more about Quidditch? Got questions?
Back there.
Is there a Quidditch team in Edmonton?
Sort of. It's still getting started, but I believe they are going to contact UFC, hopefully, and then they will liaise. They have a Facebook group,
Yeah,
is that right?
University of Alberta Quidditch Club, so you can check us out. And
Twitter.
We have
Twitter is great.
not regular meetings, but sometimes we'll be like, hey, let's meet up next weekend.
And for the Edmontonians, please, this club is like, I can't believe I've actually met a person who belongs to them because they're so hard to find. So just keep sending them messages until they can't help but exist. And
we exist.
Is there like, where do you get them? Is there like a specific one you have to have?
Walmart.
Yeah. No,
Any brew.
Like
these ones.
The really nice ones, there's a website called Olivans, ALIVANS, and you can get gorgeous rooms like that from anywhere from like $30 to $70 plus shipping. They do ship to Canada though, which is good. Otherwise, there's actually been a big switch of not using broomsticks per se, but just using like PVC pipe and stuff. Because you just like the thing is, you have to have something in your hand, and it has to be between your legs. You get lots of great jokes from Quidditch. But so it's like. Really anything to work. I've heard people using Swiffers, people can use small vacuums, that takes a bit more effort. Yeah, and we also have Quidditch brooms, which are more or less pool noodles covered in duct tape. They're great, it's nice because they don't break into horribly sharp things. But yeah, anything works. Some of our members have the really nice brooms, some of our members have the nice smell rooms, and some of us are using wonderful charity brooms that we stole from the movie theater. Yeah, those ones break great.
But yeah, other questions?
Think about it, Mari.
Any other
Don't
questions?
be shy. Come on. No.
Any questions about LeakyCon or other conferences?
Yes. Any questions about anything?
LeakyCon's
It's Portland, right?
It's sold out in London. It's not sold out in Portland. Yeah, only the Rockstar passes are sold out in Portland, but there's still Lit Day and general passes.
Who's going to Portland for LeakyCon?
See you there. Yeah. Any other questions? Hi.
When is LeakyCon in Portland?
June 27th
To the 30th.
to the 30th. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Well, yeah. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning. There's a fun run, so there's actually going to be like a nerdy 5K, which is just kind of exciting.
And also on that coast, there's QuidCon is
In
July 7th, I think. 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, something like that. So if you're wanting to learn more about Quidditch, you don't actually have to know much about it before you go, I hope, because I'm going. I guess I'll find out.
Maybe, and you played with us.
Yeah.
You know all about it now.
Any other questions? Okay, who here is going to go home and start a Quidditch team? Come on. Yeah. Go start an HPA chapter. Come on.
Who's going to join our HPA chapter? Who's going to come to our demo right out by the Coke stage? Right out.
You want to play this game?
Who wants to play in the demo?
Yes. There we
to get my photo up now.
Okay, so what we're going to do is, it's going to take us a little bit of time to set up. If there's still people there playing with swords, we are not going to get impaled on them. So feel free to stick around. It might take a little bit of time. Oh, and I guess we do have time for questions if people have other questions. Sorry, yes.
Hi. So I live in a tiny little town in Saskatchewan that already has a Harry Potter World Quidditch team.
Oh, nice.
But we don't have an actual moose jaw.
Yes. It's not that small.
Wonderful.
It's not that small.
But, well.
So you just need people to play. And I know some people in Saskatoon who are trying to start up a team. So if we can get some people in Regina, then you're going to have a nice little trio. See, Regina?
Yeah,
Regina, come over here.
Do you have like boots and stuff? Do you need, are you having trouble with equipment?
We don't have anything.
Okay, come talk to us.
We can help you with equipment, all that stuff, and get you started.
Yeah. If you have any questions after, feel free to ask us at the demo. We'll definitely put them on the side.
Our contact info, we also have
Yeah, we also have these wonderful bookmarks that we will have at the demo as well. So yeah, thank you all for coming out and getting all here. You're wonderful.